As Jaishankar absolutely destroys the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the war in the Middle East escalates and more international powers are getting involved, and Asaduddin Owaisi says something truly stupid on the Gaza situation. Welcome, this is the Nikhil Chaudhari Show. A few days back, the Indian government revoked diplomatic immunity for 41 Canadian diplomats, which resulted in sending those Canadian diplomats back home to Canada. Now we have footage of what Justin Trudeau actually said and how our external foreign affairs minister gave him a beating that he would remember for the ages. Let's take a look.
The government of India decided to unilaterally revoke the diplomatic immunity of 40 Canadian diplomats in India. This is a violation of the Vienna Convention governing diplomacy.
Ensuring safety and security of diplomats is the most fundamental aspect of the Vienna Convention. And right now, that is what has in many ways been challenged in Canada, that our people are not safe.
He starts off horrendously and hypocritically mentioning the Vienna Convention. Seriously, teaching India how to treat foreign diplomats when his own government sympathizing and essentially backing Khalistani supporters outside the Indian embassy when they were calling out for the heads of Indian diplomats working in Canada. Where do these Vienna Accords suddenly go missing when West needs to bypass them? Suddenly they just seem to disappear, and all these international laws and the convention are just tools of the West to get them what they want. Bring people to the table when it suits them. The moment it doesn't, all these so-called laws are out of the window. That's what has happened here in Canada, and Trudeau have purposefully made sure that they are failed to protect Indian diplomats against the Khalistani threats. The reason Trudeau is showing that it's because he needs the support of the NDP, a left-wing Khalistani party he is in bed with, to continue forming a minority coalition government as seasonal elections come next year. And that is basically the crux of the matter. Ever since this whole India-Canada rift has emerged, the only reason it's still ongoing and growing, it's because it's in Trudeau's favor to do so. Now let's move on to the second story of the day. The situation in the Middle East has taken a turn for the worse after the United States sent 2 of its warships to the region to prevent any escalation from Hezbollah in Lebanon as well as Iran. Suddenly, China has joined in on the action by sending 6 of its own warships to Oman and Kuwait, making their presence known in the Gulf. They are primarily doing that to secure their own oil shipments from West Asia, as they are one of the biggest importers of oil from West Asia. However, it's also to show strength in the region, as they recently did with brokering a peace deal between Iran and Saudi Arabia, who have been long-time rivals. It's in China's interest to maintain stability in the Middle East. Therefore, this move by China is originally aimed at safeguarding their own interests in the region and avoiding further escalation of the conflict. But if it comes down to that, then they are ready for it. Lastly, the AIMM leader and MP Asaduddin Owaisi, to no one's surprise, has came out in the support of the Palestinian cause, asking our Prime Minister Modi to help create a ceasefire in Gaza and to condemn Israel. Let's take a look at what he said first, and then we will react to it.
मोदी से डिमांड करते हैं कि वो पहले सीज फायर कराए, वहां पर गाजा में सीज फायर कराए, गाजा में एक ह्यूमैनिटेरियन कॉरिडोर को खोला जाए। गाजा में 50,000 महिला प्रेग्नेंट है, अस्पताल खत्म हो रहे हैं, अस्पतालों में बिजली नहीं है, ऑक्सीजन नहीं है, एनेस्थीसिया नहीं है। तो हम हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री से ये अपील करते हैं, डिमांड करते हैं कि वो इजराइल पर, बल्कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री G20 के भी अब हमारे पास प्रेसिडेंसी है, तो हम जब यूक्रेन पर हमले को कंडेम करते हैं तो ये भी हमला कंडेम करके वहां पे ह्यूमैनिटेरियन एक कॉरिडोर खोलना चाहिए, ताकि गाजा की जनता को ह्यूमैनिटेरियन रिलीफ मिल सके। हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री ये बात इजराइल को करेंगे और इसका एक कॉरिडोर खुलवाएंगे, और एड की जरूरत है वहां पर।
Just like Trudeau, as we saw earlier, Owaisi cannot help with his own hypocritical nature, demanding your own Prime Minister to condemn a sovereign state like Israel on the basis that India has condemned and still condemning the Ukraine-Russian war. Before I get into the hypocrisy of Owaisi, let me first say that India's stand has nothing but consistent. Ukraine-Russia war involves 2 sovereign nations, while Israel-Hamas conflict is between an actual state and terrorist group. So there is no moral equivalency there, at least as far as India is concerned. But more importantly, where was Asaduddin Owaisi when Hamas was killing and raping Israeli women, murdering Israeli children, and taking old people hostage and dragging them back to Gaza? Where is his condemnation of Hamas? Has he said that their actions were evil? Has he said that he has no sympathy for their cause? What they were doing is not what a good Muslim would do? Has he said that? If he has said it, where is it? And yet he's asking our Prime Minister to be consistent, which I cannot say I'm surprised about considering his partisan politics over the years. Alright folks, that's it for today's show. I will see you tomorrow.